Start your morning with intention. In a bowl, mix oats, cocoa powder, a pinch of cinnamon, and 1 scoop of strong coffee powder. Add 1 egg, almond milk, and whisk until smooth. Cook pancakes low and slow until bubbles form. Stack them high and drizzle with coffee syrup and whipped cream. Cube sirloin steak and coat with strong coffee grounds, garlic powder, smoked paprika, brown sugar, and sea salt. Sear in a cast iron skillet until crusted and medium rare. Finish with a dash of lime juice. Blend banana, Greek yogurt, almond milk, cacao nibs, and chilled strong coffee concentrate. Top with granola and a drizzle of honey. This is how dessert meets fuel. Flavor is important, but texture decides whether people come back for another bite. Your brain reacts to texture before taste. Crunch, pull, snap, softness. Those signals fire before flavor registers. That's why dry food tastes dull. That's why soggy food feels wrong. And that's why crispy food feels louder than it tastes. Texture is built by managing moisture. Water blocks browning. Steam kills structure. Dry surfaces create contrast. When food gets crispy, it's because water left first. When cheese pulls, it's because proteins aligned. When meat feels juicy, it's because pressure was released slowly. None of that comes from ingredients alone. It comes from method. You can use the best product in the world and ruin it with timing. Or use something simple and make it feel expensive with control. This applies everywhere. In steak, in vegetables, in snacks, in drinks. When texture is right, flavor feels amplified. When texture fails, flavor never gets a chance. Texture isn't accidental, it's engineered, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Results don't come from labels, they come from method. Most people chase words on packaging instead of asking what actually happened to the food. But heat doesn't read labels. Salt doesn't care about marketing. Texture follows physics every time. When food works, it's because moisture was managed, heat was controlled, and timing was respected. That's true for steak. That's true for coffee. That's true for anything built with intention. You don't need tricks. You need repeatable steps. Dry surfaces. Brown. Balanced inputs taste cleaner. Control beats hope. This approach scales everywhere. In the kitchen, in how you build routines, in how you fuel your day. When you understand method, confusion disappears. Results stop being random, and food starts doing exactly what you ask it to do. Tonight's viral recipe is powered by Old Glory, the official merch source for NFL fans, music lovers, and movie buffs who bring big flavor to everything they do. Now, let's talk brisket nachos. We start with smoked brisket chopped and tossed with barbecue sauce. Layer over kettle chips with cheddar, pepper jack, pickled jalapenos, sour cream, and a drizzle of chipotle crema. Stack it tall, bake it hot, and finish with green onions and crushed pork rinds for crunch. It's the flavor of game day and the energy of Old Glory, where every bite deserves a touchdown and every outfit tells your story. Shop your team, band, or fandom at oldglory.com and use code FlavorVilleShow for an instant discount at checkout. Old Glory. Licensed legends, bold flavor, full send. Most cooking problems come from one thing. Too much water at the wrong time. Moisture controls everything. Before flavor, before heat, before seasoning. As long as water is present, food can't brown. Temperature gets capped. Steam takes over. Structure collapses. That's why meat boils instead of sears. That's why vegetables go limp. That's why leftovers turn soft and sad. Drying isn't optional. It's step one. Patting food dry isn't about being neat. It's about buying temperature. Dry surfaces can climb past boiling. Wet surfaces can't. Salt plays a role here too. Used with time, it pulls moisture out and lets it escape. Used without time, it traps moisture on the surface. Same ingredient, different result. Airflow matters. Crowding traps steam. Space lets moisture leave. That's why ovens, air fryers, and pans all behave differently. Crisp food isn't fried, it's dried first. Juicy food isn't wet, it's controlled. Moisture inside, dry outside. Once you understand where water should be and where it shouldn't, food stops being unpredictable. Control moisture, and everything else starts to work. This episode is brought to you in part by Big Fork Brands. Chicago's original pork pioneers turning everyday meals into flavor-packed symphonies. At Big Fork, bacon isn't just breakfast, it's a movement. From craft sausages to bold bacon innovations, every bite delivers that signature smoky swagger made from heritage-raised pork and chef-level creativity. Whether you're grilling, roasting, or building the ultimate mac bomb, Big Fork brings the crunch, the sizzle, and the soul of the smokehouse straight to your kitchen. So if you're serious about flavor, skip the basic. Go Big Fork. Because in Flavorville, bacon is never just bacon. It's Big Fork. Focus doesn't start with motivation. It starts with what you put in the cup. Most coffee is built like dessert. Sugar first. Flavor second. Energy last. That's why people crash. This cup is built for control. Start with a cold glass. Ice goes in first. Cold slows bitterness and keeps the coffee clean. Now pour in a strong coffee base. Strength matters because dilution hides mistakes. Weak coffee forces you to add sugar. Strong coffee lets you stay honest. Add a small pinch of salt, not enough to taste, just enough to flatten bitterness and sharpen aroma. Salt doesn't season coffee, it balances it. Add a splash of milk or a dairy-free option. Keep it minimal. You're adding body, not dessert. Want it smoother? Shake the cup hard for a few seconds. Same ingredients. Different experience. This isn't a sweet cup, it's a focused one. Clean energy, no syrup, no crash. This episode is sponsored by Strong Coffee Country, built for people who want clean fuel, not candy in a cup. This is coffee as a method, simple, repeatable, intentional. When you control the build, the cup does exactly what you ask it to do. Start with creamy mac and cheese chilled in the fridge. Scoop into balls, press in chunks of pulled pork, and roll tight. Wrap each ball in a strip of Big Fork bacon and secure with a toothpick. Dip in seasoned flour, then egg, then panko crumbs. Air fry or deep fry at 375 degrees Fahrenheit until golden and crispy. As they cool, brush lightly with a spicy BBQ glaze. Each bite, creamy mac, smoky pork, crunchy coating, the kind of flavor explosion only Big Fork can deliver. This episode is sponsored by Old Glory, the official home of licensed NFL, music, and movie merch built for fans who live loud. From classic band tees to your favorite team's hoodie, Old Glory brings the culture to your closet. Vintage, bold, and always certified. If it made history, Old Glory lets you wear it like you were there. So whether you're repping your playlist, your team, or your movie quote of the century, don't just wear a shirt, wear what you stand for. Hit up oldglory.com today and use code FlavorVilleShow for an instant discount at checkout. Because in Flavorville, style is flavor too. Heat doesn't fix food. Heat reveals mistakes. Most people think higher heat means better results. What it really means is faster consequences. Heat is a tool, not a solution. Too much heat too early burns the surface before structure sets. Too little heat too late steams food into softness. The timing matters more than the temperature. Heat only works when moisture is managed first. If water is present, heat gets capped. If the surface is dry, heat can climb and create texture. That's why preheating matters. Cold pans absorb energy. Hot pans transfer it. That's why flipping too early fails. Protein needs time to bond to the surface. Movement breaks the bond before structure forms. That's why butter burns. Butter belongs after the surface is set. Heat builds texture. Fat carries flavor. Every pan has a job. Cast iron holds heat. Steel reacts fast. Non-stick limits browning. The tool decides the outcome. When food works, it's not because the heat was high. It's because the heat was used at the right moment. Control heat, and the rest starts to fall into place.